Hi, I'm so glad to be with you sharing about the Peace and Harmony prayer. A little bit about the Peace and Harmony prayer and a little bit about my own experience with it. But the Peace and Harmony prayer is something that we wanted to include in this course because many people find that one of the most challenging things for them throughout the day is their interactions with others. And the Peace and Harmony prayer is a way to bring harmony to situations that might be full of conflict or entanglement with emotions and negativity and judgment. And so, this is the opportunity to bring peace to the situation. And it can be you praying for a conflict that's between you and another person. You can use this prayer to bring peace and harmony to the world or to a certain country in need or state, that's facing natural disasters or civil unrest. You can use it for family members that you're watching from afar. But the idea is that we're all connected, and the peace and harmony that we see in the world begins within us. And I think it's a concept that we're all still learning, but it's out there. You hear it a lot with the Be the Change campaigns, that change starts within. And it's from that place that we can start to bring positivity, peace out into the world. But we have to begin with ourselves. We have to become a warrior of peace and harmony within ourselves. It begins from inside of us. And so one of the fun studies I love to share, it has to do with the effect of meditation, but it's very inspiring and encouraging, I think. When I share it, a lot of people are moved by the fact that you as a person can affect change at a larger level. And especially when you join a group of others, like in this course, in this program, Wellness for Warriors, once you become a warrior of wellness, you become a part of that community of people who are trying to change, to try to be the change, to bring peace and harmony to these chaotic and stressful, intense work environments that you're all facing. And so, just to go back to this study, there was, so the state of Rhode Island in the United States is our smallest state. And because of that, there's a small population of people such that if you add a certain number to the population, you can actually find a statistically significant increase and changes that are due to that variable. So you can say, oh, okay, this finding is cause and effect. This is attributed to this new variable that was introduced to the environment. And so there was a group of meditators that was introduced to the state of Rhode Island and asked to live there for 1 year. And they measured at the beginning of the year the weather, the rates of public crime and safety issues, and then employment rates. And at the end of the year, they measured it again. And what they saw was a positive increase, statistically significant since the meditators moved to that state in the areas of employment. It went up. The weather, it improved based on, amount of sunshine, reduction in, weathers, storms, and those sorts of things, and harsh conditions. And then a lowering of public safety issues, so the crime and so on. And I love to share that because it's an encouraging story. So the more and more people that practice this kind of prayer, the more we can see changes occur. And whether or not we can measure them, I think the biggest thing for us to know is that we're trying to make the world a better place, and we're doing what we can. And we all know that when you send positivity to another person, it can affect them. That's why prayer is practiced around the world, is because people feel it. You can hear stories of people feeling the prayer energy in the room when they're about to go into surgery or when they're waking up, and people who've been healed from prayer. There's a beautiful saying from Swami Kriyananda that faith is the most practical thing we can have on the path. So I just want to encourage those of you who might be new to prayer to give it a try, because what happens is it brings us peace and harmony within ourselves when we know we're caring for others in this way. I also just want to briefly share, there was a really neat interactive experience I was a part of. There's a musician, David Eby, who we're featuring some of his music within this program. He does the cello, and he's done TED Talks. He's a really wonderful speaker on the topic of music, consciousness, meditation. And what he has his audience do is he has a choir go up to the front of the room after the audience has been told whether they're going to think negative thoughts at the choir or they're going to think positive. So when the choir comes back in the room, they don't know what the audience has been asked, but he knows. And what you see happen is when the choir goes up and they perform, when people are thinking positive thoughts, their music is more in tune. They make fewer mistakes, and they're able to smile and enjoy and feel more of a connection within the choir as they sing. Whereas when the audience has been asked to think negative, they tend to mess up, and there's a complete difference in the performance itself. But the interesting part is he asks the choir, were they thinking positive thoughts the first time or negative? And the choir knows immediately because they can feel it and how it affected them when they sang. So when we pray, you can think of it as the positive energy that we're putting out into the world, creating positivity within it. And I'm going to include the Peace and Harmony prayer as a YouTube video link because it's nice. You can just put it on a playlist that you listen to again and again. But for now, I'll just recite it with you. So if you want to go ahead and close your eyes and just sit upright in your chair, and you can repeat inwardly or out loud with me the Peace and Harmony prayer. And I'll just go ahead and use it at first for the world, which is so in need of healing. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. So you do the first part, you repeated that 10 times for whichever subject you want to send the peace and harmony to. And then you switch it to being then about you, or you and your spouse, or you and your family with the other family, or you and your other colleagues. So maybe you prayed for your colleague, and now then you pray for peace and harmony within yourself as part of the solution. Lord, fill me with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill me with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill me with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. And I just want to encourage you to practice it 5 times. It's the prescription, so to speak, that Yogananda gave for this to be most effective. And you can experiment. I'm always encouraging people to try these things and experiment within your own laboratory of your own life and experiences. When I first tried it, I used it with my father and my aunt. They were having some conflict after my grandfather passed away, and he was the last of their parents that was alive, so they were having to go through all of their parents' things, and it was bringing up a lot of childhood traumas and issues and conflicts. And when we got there, they were at ends with each other. They were hardly talking, and they were mostly fighting. And so every day I practiced the prayer throughout the day, 5 times a day. And by the end of the trip, they were laughing, they were telling stories to each other, and they were improving their relationship at a rate that I haven't seen since I was a young child. And I was so grateful and happy for them. They live across the country, so it was one of the few times that they were in person together. And it was just a joy to see them finally connecting on that deeper level and feeling love between the two siblings when they needed each other most at such a time when you lose your parents. So I really encourage you to share with your fellow course takers your own experience practicing this prayer. And I would encourage you to think of a situation, that comes up during the day for you. And it could be with a patient, it could be with a colleague, it could be with someone at home. Whatever it is that is affecting you, pick something big. You don't have to start small. It can be a big thing for you, and practice this prayer. It can be when you wake up, kind of like how you would do an affirmation. It could be when you take a quiet time or a break. But just do what you need to do to remind yourself. You could set your little phone alarm. You could put a Post-it note in your bathroom mirror. Or I used to, I would draw a picture and then save that picture on my phone and make it my background. So I could include a digital iPhone backdrop for the Peace and Harmony prayer that you could save and use on your phone. So I'll do that for you. And just, use it as much as you can. It's a wonderful tool to have so that you can be a warrior for wellness. So thank you.